I spent years posting over 300 videos, getting tens of millions of views, and along the way, I've made every mistake you can imagine, so you don't have to. And these are the exact same strategies I used to get one of my Faceless Hustler members monetized in under 2 months with a single video pulling over 450,000 views. Most people fail before they ever hit record, and they don't even know it. This first part covers the one concept that quietly decides whether your channel is dead on arrival or set up to print millions. Get this wrong and nothing else matters. Get it right and the algorithm does have to work for you. If you're posting videos and are stuck under 1,000 views, I'm about to show you exactly why and exactly how to fix it. It comes down to a process and one core concept that almost nobody talks about. In this video, I'm going to hand you that entire process step by step, and by the end, I'll reveal the 2 best niches working today so you can get started right away. But first, you have to understand the thing that decides whether a channel wins or dies before you even upload. I call it the supply and demand concept. Basically, every niche has supply and demand, and the reason 90% of creators who post videos never get past the 1,000 view threshold is because they pick a niche that has low demand and high supply, meaning low overall views in the niche, which is the demand, and a ton of videos already made on it, which is the supply. So when that equation happens, you end up with these kind of results. And so the perfect scenario is when a niche has low supply and high demand, which is exactly the case with the niches I'm about to share by the end. So with that cleared up, let's walk through exactly how I strategize and make videos that get tens of millions of views. And just a heads up, these are the same strategies I use with one of my Faceless Hustler members. They've now monetized their channel, pulled over 480,000 views with a single video, and started making money all within 2 months. So when I say these strategies work, I mean it. The first step of the process is brainstorming ideas that fucking force people to click. I'm not talking about asking ChatGPT for a few ideas and calling it a day. You're not going to get millions of views and monetize your channel just by relying on ChatGPT. What I like to do first is to go to the most popular channels in any given niche. Let's take this niche for example. Then I take their 5 most popular ideas and put them into ChatGPT. But that's not all, because I also look at similar niches and take their most popular topics too. So if our niche is about survival, then similar niches could be military or crime. So after some quick research, I found this crime channel and took their most popular topics. And now that I've had all these popular topics, I can use them with the help of ChatGPT to come up with ideas for my own niche, just like this. You can see how I wrote this prompt right here in the way I framed it. But one thing I gotta mention before we continue, do not try to recreate the popular ideas of the top channel in your niche word for word. You have to come up with new ideas, because nobody is going to skip a video with 1 million views to watch yours with 100 views if they're basically the same thing. After you brainstorm the topics, next comes the script. And believe it or not, a bad script equals a video that flops, while a great script equals a video that can fucking get millions of views. So the script is literally that important. You can use Claude AI or ChatGPT to write the script for you, but there are a few important things you gotta keep in mind. First and most importantly, the prompts you write basically decide whether the script comes out good or not. I see a lot of people use AI for their scripts, but they turn out sounding so robotic that nobody would even listen to that BS. What I want you to do instead is to make sure the AI uses simple language that a 10-year-old could understand, with nothing complicated. Because a script that sounds too AI will easily piss people off, and you'll get comments calling it out, which hurts your retention. On top of that, you gotta make sure your script has an open loop. An open loop is basically a teaser that keeps the viewer watching till the end to get the reward. You see how at the beginning of this video, I said I'm going to share 2 niches by the end of this video. Well, that's the perfect example of an open loop, and it probably worked on you since you're still watching. So having an open loop is what gets you retention graphs like this. And that's one of the biggest factors that brings you millions of views, because you're keeping people on the platform, which makes YouTube more money. And more money for YouTube means they'll push your videos to more people. So now that scripts are cleared up, I want to quickly talk about AI voiceovers, because there's something that I gotta point out. It's totally fine to use an AI voiceover, and it can absolutely still get you millions of views. But what can easily make your video flop is using the same AI voiceover as the other thousands of videos out there, especially those popular voices that sound really robotic. I want you to be unique and creative with your voices. Pick ones that most people aren't using, or you can even create your own voices using 11 Labs. This is another thing I always teach Faceless Hustler members. Always be unique from your competitors. And speaking of being unique, that brings me to the next step, which is the editing. And I gotta point out some pretty important things here. Now, the editing tool itself doesn't really matter. CapCut does just fine with the free version, or DaVinci if you're not running a potato PC. First and most importantly, make sure you have at least something unique in your videos that separates you from other channels in your niche. Look at my channel, for example. You see this Pablo character right here, and the constant use of yellow in my videos. That's intentional, so I can separate myself from the other channels in my niche that literally all look the same. Do not copy and paste the editing style of an existing channel. Make your own. The next thing I want to point out is to make your editing slightly better than your competitors' channels. That's really going to give you an edge, because if your video is basically the same as another one, people will always go with the one that has more views. But if you put out better edited content than the competitors, you can steal the attention and millions of views. These are goldmine secrets I'm sharing with you. The same ones I use on this channel right here, on my other channels, and that Faceless Hustler members follow too. And with the editing cleared up, there comes something even more important, which is the packaging, aka the title and thumbnail. The title and thumbnail are basically the cover of your video, just like the cover of a book. That means that even if you made a great video, a trashy title and thumbnail will make it flop regardless, because nobody's going to click on it in the first place. So, like I keep saying in this video, make sure your packaging is slightly better and more unique than the other videos in your niche. You can compare my thumbnails to other competitors in the niche. Another important thing is to keep it to 3 or 4 main elements in your thumbnail max. Look at this thumbnail, for example. There are basically 2 main elements, the background image and the text on top of it. That's literally it. It makes it clean and readable, and you can see how big and noticeable the text is, especially with that red color that makes it stand out. Which brings me to my next point about thumbnails. Make sure your thumbnail stands out in terms of design when it's sitting on the home page next to other thumbnails. So use colors that contrast with the background and make it pop. One last thing about the title, ideally keep it under 55 characters. That makes sure that it doesn't get cut off and people can read it fully when it shows up on the home page. Not doing this can easily cost you a lot of views. So now that we've basically covered my entire thinking process and the principles I follow to make videos that get millions of views, let me quickly share 2 winning niches that are actually pulled from the Faceless Hustlers group. The first niche is natural disasters. This one constantly gets millions of views, and you can apply the format to any disaster, not just tornadoes. You've got volcanoes, tsunamis, you name it. The second one is American infrastructure. This kind of channel talks about American houses, roads, and cars. And the reason it is so profitable is because American audiences have the biggest RPM out of all audiences. 2 channels can get the exact same views, and one makes 10 times more money than the other. Sounds impossible, but by the end of this part, you'll know exactly why and how to be the one cashing in. Over the past 3 years, I've built more than 20 YouTube channels. Some of them failed hard, some of them printed me thousands of dollars. And along the way, I learned lessons that most people take years to figure out, if they ever figure them out at all. And in this video, I'm going to hand you those exact lessons so you can skip the years of trial and error and the thousands of dollars I wasted learning them the hard way. But before we get into it, there's one specific thing I discovered after these 3 years that completely changed the game for me. It's a secret that consistently gives me high as fuck RPMs, and when I say high, I'm talking $7, $8, $9 per 1,000 views, and sometimes even hitting $19. I'll reveal exactly what that secret is by the end of this video, so make sure you stick around, because this one alone can multiply how much money your channel makes without a single extra view. With that said, let's stop the app. Lesson 1, the AI slop situation. I need you to hear me on this one, because it's killing more channels than anything else right now. The days where you can throw together some robotic AI voiceover, slap on some random stock footage, and farm millions of views, those days are gone. And I get why people fell into it. For a while, that stuff actually worked. You could pump out low-effort AI videos, and the algorithm would still reward you. So everybody and their grandma jumped on it. But that's exactly the problem. YouTube is now flooded with the same recycled AI slop. Same voices, same scripts, same boring edits, all copying each other over and over again. And people are sick of it. You can feel it in the comments. The second a video sounds too robotic or too AI, people call it out instantly. And the moment they do, your retention tanks and YouTube stops pushing you. Because here's the thing, when everything looks the same, nothing stands out. And if nothing stands out, nobody clicks. It's that simple. So what actually works now is building a proper brand, something that has your own taste, your own flavor, something that doesn't look like the other thousands of channels in the niche. Look at my channel, for example. You see the Pablo character, you see the constant yellow theme. That's not by accident. That's me being intentionally different, so that when someone is scrolling the homepage and sees my video sitting next to 10 others, they instantly know it's mine before they even read the title. That's what a brand does. It makes you recognizable, and recognizable channels get clicked, get remembered, and get subscribers who come back for the next video instead of forgetting you exist the second they scroll away. Those are the type of channels YouTube wants more of in today's day and age. People want something new. They don't want the same shit repeated to them on loop. So give them a reason to remember you, and that reason is having a brand with actual personality behind it. This is one of the first things I talk about inside Faceless Hustlers, to make sure the members don't make the same mistake as the thousands of other channels. Lesson 2, outsmarting the big channels. Now here's a hard truth that nobody wants to tell you. You are not going to beat established channels by doing the same thing they do, but worse. Think about it from the viewer side for a second. Let's say your video and a big channel's video are basically the same. Same topic, same style, but theirs has 1 million views and yours has 100 views. Which one is the viewer going to click? Theirs, every single time. Because there's literally no reason to pick yours. The view count alone tells them that the other one is the safe choice. So you have to give them a reason to choose you, and that reason is simple. Better quality, better editing, better writing, better ideas, better thumbnails. You have to outwork the original channels in the niche if you actually want to steal their attention and their millions of views. Now, I'm not saying reinvent the wheel and create something nobody's ever seen. That's a trap beginners fall into, and it usually backfires. What I am saying is take what's already proven to work in the niche and make it slightly better and slightly more unique. Slightly cleaner edits, slightly stronger hooks, slightly better packaging, a slightly more interesting angle on the same topic, because that little edge is what tips the viewer towards your video instead of theirs. Viewers are always quietly comparing. They scroll the homepage, they see your thumbnail next to a competitor's, and in a split second, their brain picks whichever one looks better. You want to win that split second. Lesson 3, the time-killing problem. This one right here is the ultimate channel killer, and I see it literally every single day. People come to me saying their channel is dead. It's cooked. YouTube hates them. The algorithm is broken. Whatever excuse you can think of. So I go and take a look at their channel, and what do I see? 3 videos uploaded, 11 views total, and they're sitting there asking me why are they not blowing up. Amigo, are you serious? Let me put this in perspective for you, because once you understand how YouTube actually thinks, this whole thing makes sense. There are millions of videos getting uploaded every single day. Millions. YouTube has way more content than it could ever push. So why on earth would it look at your 3 random videos and decide to bet its homepage on you? It won't, because you haven't given it a single reason to trust you yet. Think of YouTube like a business partner. It's not gonna hand you millions of views, which is basically free traffic and free money, to someone who just showed up a week ago and might quit tomorrow. It needs proof that you're the real deal first, and the way you prove it is consistency. YouTube needs to see that you're committed, that you're disciplined, that you're gonna keep showing up, posting week after week, instead of quitting after your first few videos flop. When you upload consistently over time, that sends a signal to YouTube that your content is worth testing and pushing, because you've shown you're not just another person who's going to disappear in 3 days like 90% of people do. Consistency builds trust with the algorithm, and trust is what eventually gets your videos pushed to the masses. So stop judging your channel after 3 uploads. The people who win on YouTube are almost never the most talented ones. They're the ones who simply didn't quit when it was quiet. And now that you understand the right mindset and the lessons behind it, let me finally give you the number secret I promised you at the very start. The one that gives me those 7, 8, 9, and sometimes $19 RPMs. First, let me quickly explain what RPM even is, so this lands properly. RPM basically means how much money you make per 1,000 views. So a $1 RPM means you make $1 for every 1,000 views, and a $19 RPM means you make $19 for that same 1,000 views. Now, here's the part that most people completely ignore. Not all views are worth the same amount of money. You can have 2 channels, with the exact same number of views, and one makes 10 times more money than the other. Same effort, same view count, widely different paychecks, and it all comes down to two factors: audience age and audience location. Let's start with age. Older audiences have strong purchasing power. They've got real money to spend, and advertisers know it. So advertisers are willing to pay a lot more to put their ads in front of an older audience, because that audience actually buys their products. So when older people watch your videos, your RPM shoots up, because YouTube and the advertisers are basically rewarding you for delivering that valuable, money-spending audience to them. Now, the second factor, and this is the big one: location. US audiences have the strongest purchasing power out of every country on the planet. American viewers spend the most, so advertisers pay the most to reach them, which means when Americans watch your videos, your RPM goes way up. And it's not just the US. Other English-speaking countries like the UK, Canada, and Australia also bring in high RPMs, because those audiences have strong purchasing power too. So if your content pulls in viewers from those countries, you're in great shape. This is exactly why in my last video, I told you American infrastructure was such a profitable niche, because it naturally pulls in that high RPM American audience without you having to force it. So the secret, when you boil it all down, is simple. If you want those high as fuck RPMs, hitting 7, 8, 9, and sometimes even $19, you make videos that older audiences and the US audiences actually want to watch. Get the same number of views as everyone else, but from the right audience, and you'll out-earn channels twice your size. That one decision alone can multiply your income without you needing a single extra view. Most people quit their channel right before it would have blown up, and they never find out how close they were. This part shows you the exact mistakes that killed channels early and how to avoid every one of them. I've uploaded more than 120 videos across my YouTube channels. That's 120 plus chances to test what works and what doesn't. 120 plus lessons paid for with my own time and money. And out of all of that, a handful of those videos went on to print me tens of thousands of dollars. And today I'm gonna hand you the biggest lesson from all of it, so you don't have to upload 120 videos to figure out what I already figured out for you. But here's the thing I really want you to stick around for. By the end of this video, I'm going to walk you through my exact thinking process. The same process I personally use to brainstorm ideas that pull in millions of views and print tens of thousands of dollars. This is the actual framework running in my head every time I sit down to come up with a winning idea. And once you have it, you'll never stare at a blank screen wondering what to make again. Lesson 1. The niche is 80% of the growth. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. You can be the best script writer, the best editor, the hardest worker on the planet, and if you pick the wrong niche, none of it matters. It's just not gonna fucking work. And that's how important the niche is. It's the foundation everything else is built on. Pick a bad foundation, and the whole house falls no matter how nice you decorate it. I talk about this in my first video with the supply and demand concept, and it ties right up in here. If your niche has low demand and high supply, you're fighting uphill from day one. But pick a niche with high demand and low supply, and suddenly the algorithm does have to work for you. Let me give you a real example of how much this matters. One of my Faceless Hustler members came in not knowing what to do. So we sat down and picked the right niche for him. The right one with actual demand and room to grow. And the result? He got monetized in under 2 months. And one of his videos pulled over 480,000 views. Same person, same effort. The difference was the niche. That's how much it carries. So before you worry about editing, scripts, or thumbnails, you have to get the niche right first. Everything else is downstream of that one decision. Lesson 2, your scripts can ruin everything. Here's a chain reaction I need you to burn into your brain. A bad script leads to bad retention. Bad retention leads to YouTube not pushing your video, and no push means low views. It all starts with the script. So many people completely neglect this part. They write these stiff, robotic scripts, paste in some AI text without even reading it, and then wonder why nobody watches past the first 30 seconds. And let me tell you, people can smell an AI script from a mile away now. The second it sounds robotic and soulless, they click off. And every person who clicks off early tells YouTube your video isn't worth watching. With today's YouTube, you can't get away with lazy writing anymore. You have to actually put effort into your scripts. That means real hooks that grab attention, rehooks that put people back in the video when they start drifting, open loops, and teasers that keep them watching for the reward. and strong CTAs that actually convert. You see what I just did at the start of this video? I teased that I'd reveal my exact thinking process at the end. That's an open loop, and it's probably part of the reason you're still watching right now. That's the power of a good script. Now, here's the good news. You don't have to be a professional writer to pull this off. You can use AI to help you write. You just have to know how to make it not sound like AI. Next lesson, and this one is a sneaky one most people have never even heard of. Lesson 3, the free compilation method. This is a method I learned purely through testing, and once I figured it out, it became free extra views and free extra money on almost autopilot. Here's how it works. You take your best performing videos that fall under the same topic, and you group them together into one single long video. That could be a compilation, or you could even package it as a full course. Look at the courses I upload on my own channel. That course is basically a group of videos I already posted, bundled together into one long video. New format, fresh life, more views from content I already made. It's genius because you're squeezing more value out of work you've already done, but, and this is important, there are a few things you have to watch out for so you don't get yourself in trouble. You can't just slap your old videos back to back and call it a day. That's lazy, and it can put you in a gray area with YouTube for reused content. So here's what you do instead. You add a brand new voiceover on top of it. You record a fresh intro and a fresh outro, and you add new voiceover in between the segments to tie them together. That way, you're genuinely adding extra value, not just reposting the same thing. That little bit of extra effort is what turns it from reused content into a valuable new video in YouTube's eyes. And now the part that you've been waiting for. Let me finally walk you through my exact thinking process for brainstorming ideas that get millions of views. The first rule is this: I do not copy the big channel's popular ideas word for word ever. I use them for inspiration, sure. I look at what's working, I study why it worked, but I never just straight up copy an idea one-to-one. And I'm going to explain exactly why in a second, because this is the mistake that quietly kills most small channels. The second part of my process is that I don't just look inside my own niche for ideas. I look at similar niches too. So let's say your niche is tennis. Instead of only studying other tennis channels, I'd go look at basketball and football channels for ideas. I find a format or an idea that's crushing it over there, something that has never been done in the tennis niche, and I bring it over and apply it to tennis. This is called format transfer. You're transferring a successful, proven format from one niche into another niche where nobody has done it yet. And this is powerful because the format is already proven to work, but in your niche, it's brand new and fresh. So you get the safety of a proven idea with the novelty of being first. That's a winning combo. Now here's the most important rule of all, and I need you to really get this. You always have to come up with something slightly unique and new. Never a straight one-to-one copy of ideas. And here's why. Let's say a big channel already made a video on an idea and it has 1 million views. If you just copied that same idea exactly on your small channel with no views, why would anyone watch yours? They won't. They'll just go and watch the big channel's version. It's got more views, it's the safe pick, and yours is basically the same thing, but worse in their eyes. You have to give people a reason to choose your video over the big one, and that reason is a fresh angle, a new twist, a unique spin that the big channel hasn't done. Picking the wrong niche can waste you a full year of effort on a channel that was never going to work. This part makes sure that never happens to you. By the end, you'll be able to look at any niche and instantly tell if it's a gold mine or a graveyard. I've spent what feels like 10,000 hours researching YouTube niches in the last 3 years. Digging through channels, studying what blows up and what dies, testing niches with my own money while losing over $2,000 in one niche, and figuring out the exact patterns that separate a niche that prints money from one that wastes your time. And in this video, I'm going to pour all of that research into your head in just 8 minutes. To make it even better, at the end of this video, I'm going to reveal 2 niches that are working extremely well right now as I'm speaking, that you can jump into as a complete beginner. And these aren't random niches. These are pulled directly from inside Faceless Hustlers, my private community. But you can't just hear the niche and run with it, because if you don't know how to use it the right way, it's useless. So make sure that you first understand how the niches work and how you can put that into practice to build a successful channel. Now, how do you actually look at a niche and know if it's worth your time? You can't guess, you have to check the metrics. There are 3 that I always look at. The first one is the age of the niche. Here's the rule. Any niche that is older than 6 months is usually already crowded with a ton of videos. The train's already full, so ideally, you want a niche that's younger than 6 months, and even better if it's under 3 months. The fresher the niche, the more room there is for you to grow. The second metric is to look at brand new channels getting started in that niche. Are they blowing up? If you see fresh channels with barely any subscribers already pulling big views, that's a huge green flag. It means the niche is hot, and there's tons of room for new people, which means tons of room for you. The third metric is to look at the big established channels in the niche and check their most recent videos. Are they getting consistent high views, or are the recent ones inconsistent and dropping off? If even the big dogs are getting consistent high views on their newest uploads, that tells you the niche is still alive and demand is strong. If all 3 of those metrics check out, the niche is young, new channels are popping off, and the big channels are still eating, then you've got yourself a good niche worth jumping into. Now, I'll be honest, doing all this research yourself takes time, and it can be a headache. So if you want to skip that whole grind, inside Faceless Hustlers, we handle all of it for you. We hand you hot, verified niches every single week on a golden plate, along with one-on-one guidance on exactly how to make videos that get views in that niche. Faceless Hustler members are already winning with this, so if you want in, the link is below. Come be a real amigo. Alright, next, and this is a mistake that I see literally every day, you have to give the niche time before you judge it. This one drives me a little crazy because I see it constantly. Beginners upload 2, maybe 3 videos, get barely any views, and then come tell me the niche is dead and doesn't work. No shit, Sherlock, you uploaded 2 videos. How on earth would you know if the niche is good or not? YouTube doesn't even trust your channel yet. It hasn't tested your videos. It doesn't know your audience. It has no reason to push you yet. I made a whole video about this in the series, but it applies just as hard to testing a niche. Here's the rule. You give a niche at least 10 videos before you judge it. Not 2, not 3, 10. Because YouTube needs time to do its thing. It needs time to push your videos, test them against different audiences, figure out who your content is for, and slowly start trusting your channel. That process doesn't happen in 3 uploads. So all you have to do in the beginning is keep uploading, stay consistent, and don't lose hope or motivation when it's quiet. Then, after you've given it a real shot, you can actually judge whether the niche is working. Now, I have to be real with you. The niche isn't the only thing in play. There are other factors too. Is your content actually good? Are your scripts strong? Did you package and edit it the right way? Did you brainstorm genuinely good ideas? All of those matter, and I can't break down every single one of them in this one video, but I got a full 1-hour course covering everything about YouTube automation, and it's completely free. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the 2 niches. Both of these follow the supply and demand rule perfectly, and both are working as I'm speaking. The first niche is extinct animals. Basically, channels that talk about animals that went extinct and everything around that topic. And the results speak for themselves. This channel pulled over 1 million views within a month of starting with only 13 videos uploaded. 13! That's the power of low supply, high demand working in your favor. And what I really love about this channel is how clean it is. The thumbnails are simple, consistent, and branded. Every video looks like it belongs to the same channel, which builds that recognizable brand that I keep talking about. The second niche is the Japan niche. This channel basically compares normal everyday things that happen around the world to how those same things work in Japan. That's it, as simple as it sounds. And with that simple concept, the channel pulled in around 500,000 views, using videos where AI does literally 80% of the work. That's the whole point I want you to take away here. When you get into a winning niche, basic videos with simple ideas start pulling crazy numbers, because the niche itself is doing the heavy lifting. You can see the raw power of a winning niche in action. Now, here's the truth though. Picking the niche is just the start. The second you got it, a whole new set of problems show up. How do you spot the ideas that get millions of views like these channels do? How do you actually make content good enough to pull those crazy numbers? How do you package it, script it, and edit it so it actually performs? If you actually watched all the way through, you're already ahead of 90% of people out there guessing in the dark. Because now you understand the entire game from picking a niche to to printing views. But there is a big difference between knowing what to do and having someone do it with you. That's exactly why I built Faceless Hustlers. When you join, me and my team take you by the hand from ground zero, even if you know absolutely nothing. We handpick a winning niche for you within 2 to 3 days. We build a document full of winning ideas, and we guide you step by step through creating videos that actually get views. So if you're ready, secure your spot right now with the link below and become a real amigo. That was the course for today.